What's up, guys? Vic, Slayer Names. Somebody gave me shit because I didn't do the intro on one of the videos, so I gotta make sure I do that shit. All right. I can't remember if I showed this. Y'all have to bear with me. Dude had given me this car, and he was a local dude that at one time was in my group, but he turned into a dick, so he's not anymore. But he had tried his hand at a custom and really messed this M2 up. And he gave it to me with shit missing and no tires and all, so I gassed it up, of course, put the straight axle, some real riders, and put that motor in there. And what's crazy is the motor on this thing, hello, fits so snugly and perfect in there. At the present, that motor is not even like glued or anything. It's just, it fits perfectly. So in the event that you guys want to make a sick hot rod real easy, get an M2 Chevy 2 Nova, and they do make some sick varieties of it. Find you a way too fast. And basically, I try not to waste anything. You guys remember the Pro Mad? Whenever I did the Pro Mad, it has a way too fast motor in it. And so that left one left over. I couldn't believe, like every now and again, the pieces fall together on shit. And you find castings that things work out, and I wanted to show you guys that, because sometimes if somebody shows you, it's a lot fucking cooler than trying to figure it out on your own if you gotta share shit with one another. Just wanted to show this little guy. I don't know if I've shown this or if anybody's seen it, but the little Matchbox Sonora Shredder, I think it's called, with some detail paint and a little dirtiness. This thing is just super sick. I'm assuming it is one of the newer cases for this year, but if you guys know me, I like Baja Desert trophy trucks, things of that nature. I think that the Hot Wheels Super Toyota Off-Road is like one of my favorites. I haven't found the blue one yet. Sometimes I like to just take the main line of that and just turn it into a Super just because it's cool. And speaking of that, you guys on Instagram, I met a local dude named Crimson.Twins24. His name's Mike. He's a local dude. He's a super cool guy. He had found some stuff at a thrift store recently, and I've given him some of my personal collection. He likes Dodges and Plymouths and whatnot. And he found a little group of older things, and I think he paid $1 a piece. Was showing them to me, and I gave him, I think it was a Cool Classics GTX or something like that with the Spectre Flame, and he brought me this little guy, and this thing is sick. Well, he didn't bring it to me when he comes by the shop. I give him stuff. It's still got the flower sticker, which is crazy. And this thing was made in, I think, 71. Selesny. Yeah, Baja Buggy. Really cool. Just a couple of flea bites on it. But he wound up giving me that because I don't send him away empty-handed when he comes here. He's a cool cat. And then also he had found this Johnny Lightning. I had seen it at Toys R Us and was digging on it, but the wheels sucked, and I don't know. But this thing is super detailed. The grill, the tag, cowl induction hood. It's even got a nice little, if you guys can see it, little air breather with double snorkels on it. I mean, this thing is just tons of nice details. Got the SS on there. And unfortunately, Johnny Lightning's making some really dope castings, like this Falcon, but it's got like these shallow hubcap style wheels on it. It's the only drawback, because I mean, even this thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen these in person yet. They're super nice. But yeah, long story short, I robbed a bread box for the wheels, because these little Novas have small wheel wells in the back. So if you want to put some meats on them, you got to go with something a little shorter. But I think overall it turned out pretty sick. And then having mentioned turning things into supers, probably saw this if you follow me on Instagram, was wigging me out about the gigantic ass tires that they put on the surf crate. And so I tried to add some more realism to it. I think those tires fit better. I did white headers, aluminum engine stuff, painted the interior like a satin tan, and then did the purple surfboard. And what's really cool is the purple I used on that, just to help you guys out if you're in your hobby store like Hobby Lobby, and go over by the watercolor and acrylics. A lot of times when we do paintings, like tattoo paintings and stuff, that's done with watercolor, and it's done with a brand called FW. And I've found that one, you can paint an entire car body with a brush with that stuff, and it'll be like a semi-gloss finish when it's done. And I think I did one coat of it, and it completely covered a bare Hot Wheel without any primer. So if you wanted a car that was dulled down, or like an old relic kind of car, it works well. But I painted that surfboard on top of plastic without primer, and went on there perfect. And yeah, you guys let me know what you think. A couple people were saying they dug it, but I'm thinking now that I've looked at a Super online, like I say, I never could find this Super. The roof on the Super is black, and then back there by the surfboard has the TH. I think I'm going to do the roof black, but instead of TH, I'm going to put something else cool back there to make it look like a Super. And then the guy I was telling you, Mike, Crimson.Twins24 on Instagram, he stopped by. Like I say, he collects Mopars, and so he found me 2 more of these. He knows I love 55 Chevys, so I keep supplying him with Chargers and Challengers and such, and he's helping me out on 55s and 67s and pickups. The main thing, if you guys follow me long enough, you know that I dig on. And then Bobby T, if you've been following me, he's kind of been kicked back a little bit, doing real life shit. But he actually, instead of the Bobby T 629 thing that he had, now he has a new one, and he hasn't put too many cars on it yet. But just to let you guys know, his new Instagram is Bobby T 2980. But he's going to be back in the game before too long. But he and I have been back and forth. He gave me the Candy Striper. I gave him a Super Gasser. And then he comes to the shop, and like I say, he's been dealing with real life shit, so haven't seen him much, and he's like one of my best friends in the world. Well, he came by, and I guess he saw that, sorry it ain't came your way yet, Kyle, but this is for Kyle, KP's Toys. I dented it up, got a for sale sign on it, made it pretty dope or whatever, and it's based obviously on the main line. Well, I could never find this car. 2014 is when I started collecting. I wanted to find it in the wild, never could. I've been seeing it for $40 shipped. That's the cheapest price, but for some reason I had a personal quest to just try to get this thing one way or the other, whether I traded or found it at the flea market or something. Well, Bobby T comes yesterday with this, and I'm like, what the hell? And he said that he got lucky and bought a lot of 9 of them. And I thought he was just showing me, but he was giving me one. And he said in order to give me one, I had to take the other. And a lot of people are cringing their ass off last night on Instagram. He wants this weathered like Kyle's truck. Dented. He said I don't even have to leave these wheels on it. Long story short, he said I had to crack them both, because he knows that I've never cracked a Super. And you guys have been around these things long enough to know what it looks like. So he told me to crack both of them, obviously, because I got to do his. But yeah, there we go. So twins. But he wants me to make that look like this, and only stipulation, like he even wants the dents in it. The only stipulation to it is he wants to leave the TH visible. Man, that's gonna be tough. But yeah, crazy. But there's that, and then I think this is an underrated casting. The rigger motor. It's a little coffin. If you guys are like me and you're into 60s customs, this wouldn't really be a fantasy car. This would be a car similar to what George Barris created. I think it was George Barris for Dragula for the TV show. And I'm going to make this thing